Okay, we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube, so we can begin the meeting.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Good to hear from you. Welcome to the meeting of the Audit Committee of the Public Building Commission of Chicago being held today, July the 1st, 2021 at 1 p.m. In order to continue indoor social distancing protocols, today's meeting is being conducted by video conference and is being live streamed on the Public Building Commission's YouTube and Facebook accounts. You can access this information on the agency's website at pbcchicago.com. Director Sanchez, please call the roll.
Thank you, Chairman Sachs. Good afternoon, Commissioners. It is great
Good
to see
afternoon.
everyone today. Hello. Thank you for participating in our virtual Audit Committee meeting. I just wanted to provide a reminder that as we begin our meeting, to please keep your microphones muted when you are not speaking. But for purposes of the roll call, please make sure that your microphone is unmuted. Chairman Sachs.
I'm present and in the chair.
Commissioner Randall.
Here.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Will the director please, as you said, we have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we start the meeting?
It's just great to see everyone today, and I hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
I call for the approval of the minutes from the September 16th, 2020 Audit Committee meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second, me. Motion's approved. All in favor?
Aye.
The next item on the agenda is public participation. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, registered speakers will be allowed 2 minutes to provide comments and will join the meeting.
We have no registered speakers, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is the report by the Public Building Commission's Director of Finance, Tanya Focher Weekly. Tanya?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On behalf of the Finance Department, I am pleased to submit to you the Public Building Commission 2020 ended 2020 and 2019. Despite the continued effects of the pandemic and through our tireless and diligent efforts, the PBC is pleased to announce for the 2020 CAFR submission, we will be submitting the report on time to the GFOA.
Hold on, Tanya, you might want to use your headphones. You're breaking up some. Let me see, she's a little frozen. Let me see if she adds her headphones. That'll be a clearer connection.
Did I go out?
Yeah, can you put on your
Can you
headphones?
hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
They're on.
Hey, Lori.
I turned the video off, so.
Yeah. Okay. We can hear you better. Thank you.
Okay. This ensures the PBC qualifies to receive their Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 10th year in a row. This is we're largely in part on time due to our external auditors, Deloitte, who have continued to work with us assiduously with our finance.
Unfortunately, she's breaking up.
If she has a bad internet connection, Lori, maybe she could disengage and dial back in.
Yeah, Tanya, if you could use your headphones, that's going to be better. No video and just headphones, probably.
I think she probably needs to call in.
Yeah, I was going to
from
say.
a phone, not to do it through video.
Well, let me say
Do we want to
this,
come back?
just a moment. As
Okay.
Want us to go?
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe
as
I need
chairman,
to try to call in.
Look, we can't have 3 chairmans here. I believe that we can state that what she would be telling us and the public is that management overview regarding the Public Building Commission comprehensive annual financial report for the years ended December 31st, 2020 and 2019 received awards. And I believe we can now move on to the next item. Is there anybody to object to the chair's position? The next item on the agenda will be the report by Alan Truesdale, Deloitte and Touche. And it is a required audit communication related to the Public Building Commission's audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2020.
So good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay? Great.
Yes.
So good afternoon. Thank you, Chairman Sachs, and thank you to management and members of the committee. It's great to see all your faces this afternoon. I very much look forward to doing this once again in person. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, we'll do that at our next audit committee meeting. If members of the committee could turn to page 4 in the Deloitte materials that were previously distributed, I wanted to start today with just a quick introduction for the Deloitte team, seeing as we are doing this virtually. So I know many or probably all of you, and you know me, but for the record, I'm Alan Truesdale, your lead client service partner from Deloitte. I'm a local Chicago partner here with Deloitte for 27 years, focusing in the public sector and professional services industries, where I serve governmental, nonprofit, higher education, healthcare, and professional service firms. I'm also the U.S. firm's public sector national audit leader, and I've been serving the PBC for a number of years here. So great to see all of you again. And Juliana, I want to give credit where credit is due. If you could just give yourself a brief introduction, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. My name is Juliana Sadis. Like Alan, I've been on the PBC audit for a few years now. I believe this is third. And it's my 6th year with Deloitte, also serving primarily not-for-profit, governmental, and public sector clients. I'm excited to be here with all of you today.
Thank you, Juliana.
Welcome.
So again on page 4, which is the client service team organizational chart in your pre-read materials. Just one last comment here. I wanted to also acknowledge our joint audit team partners not here with us today, Washington Pittman McKeever and Velma Butler, as well as our continued commitment to the MBE WBE participation. This year we're at 40% participation, 30% to our MBE team, 10% to our WBE team of Velma Butler. So great to have the continuity. If you look at this organization chart, you've got 100% continuity in the team, which I really believe is a benefit that will accrue to the PBC as we execute efficiently and effectively. Turning to page,
I'd like to comment on that, and I would like to say that your team efforts together have given us, I believe, plus the staff, I believe, has given us the reason we received the awards that we have.
it takes all of us, Chairman Sachs, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Turning to page 5, your executive summary. So just to reiterate, the purpose of our call this afternoon is to cover the results of the fiscal 2020 external audit. Our communications are prepared in accordance with our professional standards, and they cover many of the communications you're accustomed to seeing year over year. The message of these materials has already been discussed in advance with both management as well as with Chairman Whitley, who I know can't be with us here today. So we'll take many of these as read, but we will cover select highlights in our allotted time limit here. So I do want to acknowledge the hard work from both the PBC management team as well as Juliana and our staff from our MBE and WBE team. As we sit here today, we are on track, on time, essentially complete with this year's audit and ready to issue an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. Both teams executed in a virtual first environment for a second straight year in a row. And last year, you'll recall, we issued in September, but we have already come back around quickly this year and are on track for just uploading to GFOA, as Tanya mentioned today, back on our regular schedule. And that's really a testament to both the quality of the books and records that we receive from management, the professional workingship that we enjoy with each other, and I would say management's ability to stay focused on the audit process despite everything they've got going on with their day jobs. One last takeaway from page 5 on these pre-read materials, you'll see there's a long list of GASB pronouncements that were due for implementation in the current year. As we do every year, we tell you what was due for implementation in the current year and what's on the horizon. I will tell you that the pronouncements that were adopted in the current year did not have an impact on the financial statements. They weren't particularly relevant to the PBC given your operations. So with that said, Juliana, do you want to start on page 7, the areas of audit emphasis, and cover that as well as some of our required communications, please?
Sure. So starting on page 7, as Alan said, thank you, Alan. I will share with you the results of the areas of audit emphasis. So first, we're required by the AICPA to consider the potential of fraud in a financial statement audit. This is a presumed significant risk for all entities and not just the commission. In order to address this presumed risk, we had fraud discussions with certain members of management. We evaluated estimates for potential bias, and we looked at any significant transactions. I'm pleased to say that we noted no significant unusual transactions in the course of the audit. We also evaluated the design and implementation of controls over financial close and reporting, especially considering the virtual work environment we're currently in, and found them to be soundly in place. We evaluated journal entries with characteristics of audit interest, which we identified using our audit innovation tool, Cortex, which brings us to the next slide. By implementing Cortex to evaluate the population of journal entries, we're able to focus on individual entries that show characteristics of audit interest, but we can also derive insights from the population as a whole. For example, in the images you see on this slide, we can see the account with the most postings throughout the year, which includes cash, and determine that the population of entries follow Benford's law. Next, I'll move on to our required communications. We affirm that Deloitte is independent with respect to the PBC. We note that our responsibility under auditing standards is to provide reasonable assurance that the financial statements are not materially misstated. The financial statements themselves are the responsibility of management. In the next slide, we note that the PBC's accounting policies are set forth in note 1 of the financial statements and have not changed from the previous year. The estimates specific to the PBC include depreciation, the valuation of investments, and other revenue project fees. In the next slide, we believe that the financial statements are presented fairly and in accordance with GAAP. And during the audit, we were not made aware of any significant unusual transactions. In the next slides, we have our other required communications, which I won't read out, but in summary mean that the audit went very well and that we had full cooperation from Tanya and her team. Even in this remote environment, Tanya was amazing to work with and got us everything we needed to complete the audit well and on time. In the next slide, we show the required communication that we have provided. And now Alan will talk to us about control matters.
Yeah, Juliana, thanks. Just Appendix B for those following along on the pre-read materials. And this is just the place where we would define deficiencies. We've had a conversation in the past around level of internal control findings, if you were to have any. I'm pleased to report today there are no material weaknesses identified. So in previous years, we've talked about a stoplight analogy, a red light, a yellow light, and a green light, and you would match those up with a material weakness, a significant deficiency, or just a common control deficiency. And so I'm pleased to report to the committee there are no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies identified and reported out. Why don't you, if we could, in the sake of time, Juliana, I would like to cover Appendix D, just some of the procedures that we performed given the fact that we were a virtual first in the pandemic this year, and then I'll close with Appendix E.
Sure. So Deloitte has invested in our processes and technology to make virtual work more efficient. And what we have learned from being in this environment is how to better collaborate with virtual tools such as Zoom, which we've used for all of our status meetings. We need to ask questions of management or on a daily basis to coordinate the work with our MBE and WBE partners. We also maximize the use of our virtual project management and information exchange tools like Deloitte Connect, where Tanya was able to provide us with any audit requests and monitor any upcoming support if needed. And with these tools for virtual work, we were able to obtain the same level of support that we would historically obtain, even in things that were usually physical audit evidence. And we were also able to conduct virtual walkthroughs and control environments to verify the processes and controls remained in place. So if you look at the next slide, we also talk a little bit more about the impact of the pandemic on the financial statement, where we considered the necessary disclosures and now include more of a discussion on the impact of COVID, noting that we did not identify any indicators of concern for the commission. We noted that the commission has strong financial resources currently, and there does not appear to have been a significant impact to the commission's revenue streams for the year ended December 31st, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Juliana. That's fantastic. Just a reminder for everyone to stay on mute here, and I'll just wrap up. I've got one last appendix I'd like to cover. If the committee could please turn to Appendix E, as in Edward. So this is on pages 25 and 26. And again, just a moment here to focus your attention on an important topic: diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, as we refer to it at Deloitte. I wanted to inform the committee that Deloitte released our first ever transparency report this year, which shares the composition of our workforce and talent lifecycle. We've provided a link for you to that report in these materials. And the objective of that report is really to share our DEI data, share our future DEI goals and commitments, and really increase a sense of trust and hope and accountability to the public. This transparency report will be issued annually and allow us to track our progress towards these goals and be transparent in how we are measuring up against those goals. So this is an important discussion item for me personally, and it's strategic for our firm. So I just really wanted to reiterate, you have got my commitment to keep this committee regularly up to speed on our progress on this important and strategic topic for us. And thank you for allowing me the time to share that with you. So with that, Chairman Sachs, that concludes our prepared comments for today, and happy to take any questions that there are in there.
Commissioner Randall?
I do not have any questions, Chairman. I move to accept the report.
I accept your motion. I will vote for the motion, and so the motion is now voted on, as both of us will say aye.
Aye.
And the report is accepted. Is there any other business to come before this audit committee meeting?
Chairman Sachs,
Yes.
Director Fouché was able to call in, and if possible, she can finalize and read out her report. I know she was having some technical difficulties earlier today. Can she be
That's
allowed
fine.
to finish her report?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Tanya?
On my screen, she says she left the meeting.
She called in. She's the
I know she did
09709.
call in before, but then
Yes.
on my screen, it says she's left the meeting.
There is a caller that's on mute.
It's
That's right.
She's trying to unmute herself since she
I
called
would,
in.
is her report lengthy?
No, it's quick.
Well, all I can tell you is, in all fairness, everybody listening, her communications problems are shown on my screen. I have a military screen, and she has left the meeting, even by phone. So I apologize, but we have no contact with her here.
I understand. Let me. Oh, she is. I guess she's not able to unmute from the call-in number.
So I would suggest that we accept that she has given a first-class report. We know it directly, even though we're not able to show it on the screen. And I move for, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all very much, and have a happy 4th of July. We have a wonderful country. Both of us are veterans and have served in the military for long periods of time. So I personally thank Commissioner Randall for that. And I hope all of you remember how wonderful this country really is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service, Mr. Chairman, and happy Independence Day to everybody.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
meeting